What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Palm City Chucks. We are back at last with some college football. We have missed you. I know you've missed us. But as you know, unfortunately, as you know, when we've missed weeks in the past, we're not going to live in the past. So we'll treat this as though we are on schedule. We'll go over our picks because we have been sharing our picks over these past few weeks that we've missed. Um, and we're going to talk about our picks from week 9, and then we'll do our picks for this upcoming week, week 10. But yeah, let's start with week 9, a recap. We'll start with Syracuse taking on 7 seed Georgia Tech, a game in which Georgia Tech took care of business 41-16. I was very impressed here. Syracuse, I thought, was going to cause some problems. We talked a good bit about Syracuse, considering I don't think they've been ranked all year. But yeah, they lost a lot of talent into the draft, and we weren't really sure what they were going to have to work with. We saw them beat Clemson. We saw them be competitive in numerous ACC matchups. I thought Georgia Tech could get a little scary if they were feeling a little cozy, because Georgia Tech, phenomenal season so far. But yeah, it looks like they were dialed in. They were not about to get upset here, and they took care of the orange, or whatever the hell Syracuse is.
Yeah, I actually don't know either, but it just might be the orange. Certainly not the oranges. I know
No.
that. Yeah.
There's only one of them. That's for damn sure.
Yes, very true. Very true. I think you summed that up really well. I have many of the same opinions. Georgia Tech just really dominated this game. So I think the question I'll ask you to continue the conversation a bit is Haynes King, their quarterback. Is he working his way into the Heisman discussion a little bit?
I honestly hadn't given it a thought, but he probably should be. And he's doing a lot. He's a dual threat guy. He gets it done in the air and on the ground. And he's a good leader. I mean, he was on this team last year too. He's a good player. So I'm actually more curious to see if, there's NFL discussion around him come the draft. But yeah, I mean, this Georgia Tech team looking really good, and he's a big reason why.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I was just curious. Your point about the NFL, I think he's definitely worked his way onto draft boards at this point.
Mm,
Where in the draft? I couldn't tell you right
right.
now,
Yeah.
but somewhere.
Strikes me as a journeyman, even though he has had a pretty special college career.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That's totally fair.
But yeah, let's move on to the next one here. 4 ranked Alabama taking on South Carolina. South Carolina known to cause problems in the SEC, especially when they're living in that underdog role. They were unable to pull that off against Bama, though. Bama takes it 29-22. But South Carolina definitely kept it close, and probably had some Bama fans shaking a bit.
Oh, Bama fans definitely were shaking during this game. I mean, they do have Lenora Sellers, who is one of the top quarterback prospects in all of college. So any given game, if that offensive line figures out how to block like at all,
Yeah.
then South Carolina could absolutely win any game with the talent they've got at the quarterback position. So Alabama's playing, but Bama does pull it out. They continue to look really impressive post their week 1 loss. They've really course corrected and probably, in my opinion, right now, the best team in the SEC.
Yeah. Heard that before. My whole life, actually. It's unfortunate. Them are Georgia, man. And yeah, Bama down year last year, they're back immediately. But yeah, it is what it is. I cope, which I'm going to have to do because yet again, another good segue for PCC. But A&M, 3rd ranked, taking on 20 ranked LSU. Gross. A&M takes it 49-25, a game in which we had a difference here too, so it stung a little extra. But yeah, LSU just could not get this thing going. Nussmeier looks really hurt too, and like he's just battling through everything, which is not an excuse here. We got our asses kicked, which I did not expect. I thought this was going to be a game I get on you for sure, because LSU at night in Death Valley, like just the numbers behind that, man. Like they don't freaking lose, but they did, and they lost without a doubt in this one. It was ugly. It was a tough watch, but some good came from it because Brian Kelly is no more, and I'm very happy about this. I didn't think it would happen. I thought his leash was longer. I thought we'd have to deal with a few mediocre seasons on top of what we've already had. But yeah, we cut him free. LSU expects a higher standard from their head coaches, and I love that. But we'll see who we get. Just to throw some kind of guesses out there, or more or less what I want. I want a smaller school guy who has turned a program around and like kind of put them on the map. Like some names that come to mind, like one that jumps out at me because it's in the area, is Tulane, a school that really wasn't anything special, but the last few years have been very special. And I got to credit the head coach there a little bit for that. I don't know much about him, but that's a guy I'm looking at as a candidate. And I hope they do it. It just makes sense. I mean, it's not much of a move for him or his family if they even have to move. And yeah, it's exactly what I want. I don't want a name. I don't want a has been. Like I don't want any transfers from like a major Power Five team. Like I don't want that. I would much rather have a smaller coach with something to prove.
Yeah. No, that's totally fair. It is funny, both the Palm City Chucks teams losing their head coach mid-season this year,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit
And we're both
unexpectedly.
happy about it.
We are both happy about it, so that's a fun little twist. Fun little twist. So I did pick Texas A&M here, but I wanted LSU to win, and I
Ooh.
thought that there was going to be, a decent chance of that night game at Death Valley. This was really
Yeah.
just a subpar subpar performance by LSU. Um, and I've heard through the grapevine that my opinions on Texas A&M maybe aren't being received super well by some, so I'd like to elaborate a little bit on that here while we're talking about Texas A&M. So first, this is the first game I would give them that I would consider a genuine good win. This is number one of genuine good wins for me for Texas A&M. Going into LSU at night and dominating them, that's impressive. I will give you that. But I still think, regardless of the fact that they're 8-0, that come playoff time, they're a tier 2 team. They are not up there with the big bad boys. They're just simply not, and I don't see them making a run. And I'll tell you why. Here's who they've played so far this year: UTSA, Utah State, Notre Dame, which they do pull out by 1, but at that time I wasn't very big on Notre Dame. Didn't love them then. I still don't love them now. Yeah, goodish win. I'll give them goodish on that. Auburn, Mississippi State, Florida, Arkansas. Some of these games closer than they should have been. Arkansas, namely, only winning 45-42 there. Then we got this LSU game. They get to avoid the rest of the year. The four top teams in the SEC outside of them, they don't have to play. They don't play Bama. They don't play Georgia. They don't play Ole Miss. They don't play Vandy. They get Texas. Who knows where they're going to be? They're number 5 behind them right now. Who knows where they're going to be by the time that game comes around? They might get to avoid the next 5, 6 teams on that list there. I mean, seriously, they do play Mizzou, but that's certainly not the same anymore, which we'll talk about. It's coming soon with Bo Perbula out, but like, I mean, can you honestly say, can people honestly say that they're up there with the big boys with the performances that we've actually seen, bar this last game, and with what their schedule has been? I don't think so. I still think they're a step behind the big boys, and I don't think it's necessarily close.
Yeah, I don't blame you for having those feelings. I mean, you just said it. They've really lucked out with the schedule. I mean, they're not really truly tested like a lot of these other SEC teams are or will be with their schedule. So they're definitely fortunate as far as that goes. But yeah, this win definitely did say something to me because it's really tough to win in Death Valley, and the way they won this game, I mean, they really dominated. Granted, LSU just like straight up did not show up. Like, I don't know if they wanted Brian Kelly out, so they just like freaking sucked ass because it honestly seems that way. It was that bad. But yeah, nonetheless, definitely a good win for A&M here. But yeah, it sounds like they're not going to have many threats left, so they're probably going to basically a shoe-in for the SEC championship game. There, they will be tested without a doubt. So then and only then we will know the ending to this thought of yours. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finding out because I'm honestly curious if they are too. We talked about it all year. I mean, as you said, we got called out for it. But yeah, A&M really hasn't looked too special. But they certainly put belt to ass against LSU, which pains me deeply.
They did. They did. And we'll see. We'll see if they go and win that SEC championship game. That's when I will eat my words and admit defeat. For right now, I'm sticking strong. I'm not seeing it here. I just if I'm making a list of possible national championship winners right now, Texas A&M is not on it for me personally.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. They wouldn't be on it for me. And the fact that they're undefeated at this point in the season, playing in the SEC, they probably should be. So it's funny we don't have it. But I mean, the facts are the facts, and you just ran through the schedule. I think we're pretty justified.
Yeah, that's fair. But soapbox done. I look forward to hearing the feedback from the fans that were eagerly awaiting a Texas A&M response there.
But yeah, let's get into another one. We'll get into some Big Ten play. We had Wisconsin take on six-ranked Oregon, much closer than I'm sure we both expected here. We both did go Oregon, and Oregon was correct, but it was only by a score of 21-7. Oregon in trouble, kind of another team that I think a lot of people view as a chip threat, and I don't think they have enough either. They've had a lot of unconvincing wins so far this year.
No, I agree. I definitely agree with that. This was not a great game from Oregon, but to Wisconsin's credit, which I can't believe I'm saying, they played Ohio State the week before, and now played Oregon this week. And honestly, they give both offenses problems. Like Ohio State put up more points; it was like 34 or something like that. But really, they didn't dominate. It was just their offense was so bad that it did not matter. But credit to them for keeping this game close. And I think it's likely that Oregon probably still gets into the. Well, actually, no, because you got Indiana. Can't forget about those boys. Ohio State, Indiana looks like the most likely Big Ten championship right now, and I'll talk about Indiana a little bit later too. But um, I will cede. I think right now I've got a feeling this is the SEC's year. In the battle of SEC versus Big Ten, I do feel like the SEC is stronger this year. I
Yeah.
will say
I
that.
I would agree as a whole, but yeah, the Big Ten's top two, no joke, man. Ohio State and Indiana are spectacular, and they are the 1 and 2 seed to boot. But yeah, the SEC has numerous like very, very good teams. So I see why you say that. But I mean, it's getting to the point where it's going to be either or every year till the end of time. I mean, the Big Ten's certainly getting close. But yeah, let's talk about Indiana right now. I mean, UCLA played them. Indiana was home in this one, but I mean, they got smacked 56-6. UCLA, a team that started out really bad, had that win against Penn State. Sorry to bring it up, but kind of got the juices flowing for him. Won a few games. Wasn't really sure what to expect here. I thought Indiana would definitely win, but I don't think I was expecting a 50-point margin.
Yeah, I definitely was not expecting a 50-point margin. This Indiana team just continues to come out and impress, which is why what I'm going to say next is a bit of a hot take, and I'll accept that. I kind of see Indiana and Texas A&M as very similar in that matter. Like come up against the big boys consistently, come playoff time. I don't know that I see it yet. I just don't think they're quite there. Like I just think they're a step behind. I don't
Yeah.
know. That's just what I
Not
feel.
not to hammer home the A&M point any further, but I actually feel more so that way about A&M than Indiana. Indiana's starting to sway me like, okay, they're legit. Which curious to see how it all shakes out when it is playoff time, and definitely curious about that Big Ten championship game, if it is the likely outcome that we're saying, them versus Ohio State. But yeah, I mean, I agree. At the end of the day, I do want to see a lot of these teams face really good opponents, and even a team we already mentioned, Georgia Tech, like they haven't really had a crazy game yet either. Like at the time, Clemson was a good win, but now not so much. And they haven't really played anybody else. They will play Georgia later. I think we'll learn a lot there. Um, but yeah, just excited for the season to keep going. It just continues to ramp up. We get into some better matchups. And speaking of a better matchup, we'll move on to number 8 seed Ole Miss taking on 13 Oklahoma, a game in which we both went Ole Miss here. And we were correct. 34-26, Ole Miss took it. This one was tight though, and yeah, it was interesting. Did you see like the Lane Kiffin stuff after this one? He's like
I
joshing around
did.
with the Oklahoma defender and stuff. I thought that was
Yes, that was
interesting.
funny.
Like part of me like really enjoyed that and wished there was more of that in sports. And then another part of me like kind of thought it wasn't like the way the game's meant to be played, and I didn't like it. So I don't know. It was very mixed feelings on opposite ends of the spectrum there. But as far as the gameplay here, Ole Miss is just really no joke. I mean, this was a one possession game, but Ole Miss looks really good. They are an SEC threat that I believe to be true. Oklahoma, we mentioned throughout the year. I thought they were a little overrated. They've had some really good wins, and you have the hiccup to Texas, and I don't really know what to make of them now. I mean, playing Ole Miss this close and this good makes me think they're a solid team, but yeah, unsure. They seem like a bit of a roller coaster.
Mateer hasn't been quite the same since he's come back from that hand injury. And I think it's making quite a difference. I think this is a game where if Mateer is still cruising from that start, he never went out. Oklahoma could very well still be an undefeated team and not have the hiccup to Texas, or only losing this by 8. I could totally see them pulling this game out too. So I definitely think that injury has had an impact, which is unfortunate for them because they were rolling. They really were, and they could still turn it around. By no means are they toast, but tougher spot.
Get in
Got to
there.
win the rest.
Yeah.
Yeah, got to win the rest of the
Exactly.
games.
Yeah, 100%. You just can't afford that third loss. But speaking of hiccups, we had a very near hiccup in North Carolina. Virginia traveled there, ranked 16, and they almost choked this one. They managed to pull it off 17-16, and the end result was Bill Belichick, Mr. Old Fashioned himself, going for two, trying to steal this game, which I love, by the way. A lost season for North Carolina. That is exactly what you do here. You go for the win. You chalk it up to a 50-50 play, and you deal with the results. And unfortunately, you couldn't pull it off, so they're dealing with the L. But really fun, and I love that he did that because, like I said, Bill, old set in his ways kind of guy. It was cool to see him go for the win there.
Yeah, no, I agree. A lot closer than this game should have been. Very scary for Virginia here. North Carolina has been really bad all year long. Um, so it being this close is unfortunate. I mean, North Carolina was home. That does help. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. But I also agree going for the 2 point in that scenario is correct. When you are a team where your season is over, or you're clearly outmatched on talent, but you have a chance to go win on a 2 point, you absolutely do it 100% of the time, in my
Yeah.
opinion. So I do love that call. Do love that
Yeah.
call from Bill. One
Yeah,
of the
it's
first
great.
things he's done right in college coaching so far.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. I'm not going to defend the rest, but I will give them props here. But yeah, Virginia, a team that has looked really good the last few weeks. So very surprising to see them struggle so much with a North Carolina team that has looked like, let's just say it, bad.
Yeah, no,
But
I
yeah,
agree. I agree.
But let's move on to another one. We had some divisional play here. 18 ranked South Florida taking on Memphis. Just kidding. They're not in the same anymore. They used to both be in the AAC. I'm living in the past. But Memphis takes this one. 34 to 31. This was a really tough one. Did some flip-flopping here. Um, but yeah, ended up going with Memphis. So happy to get this one correct. But yeah, Memphis just looks like a good team this year. I mean, we saw them beat Arkansas, and they're just no joke. Arkansas, can't say it enough, people. Their record does not tell the story. You alluded to it even in the A&M ramble, but I mean, they play teams tough, and they're really in every game, and they're SEC quality. And yes, I will stand by the word quality there, even though their record is buns. But yeah, Memphis, a decent team this year, something to look out for, but South Florida is too. So that's what really made this one tough. And the game was tough. I mean, it was settled by 3 points. It was a lot of back and forth. I'm pretty sure Memphis came back late in this one, down, I believe, 2 possessions, I think maybe 10, and they managed to rally and get it done.
Yeah. No, I was wrong here. I did think that South Florida was going to pull this one out, probably in a closey, but Memphis, no joke, as you said, beating Arkansas doesn't mean nothing. And Memphis is one of the teams that moved into the rankings, the top 25 this next week with this win over South Florida. So clearly nothing to mess about with. Unfortunate that you did pick up a game on me here, though. Don't love that.
But let's move on to another here. We had 15 ranked Missouri take on 10 ranked Vanderbilt. I had Vandy here, and main reason is I wanted it desperately. I've never had a team like beat LSU the way this team did the week prior, and then immediately like bandwagon my ass with them. But LSU, like, fact of the matter, especially after this week to A&M, they're done. Like, they're toast. Playoffs are done. SEC, anything done. So I'm hoping Vandy could just pull
Welcome
this
to the
thing off.
club.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. But yeah, I'm really hoping Vandy could just keep this thing going, man. And they're just a really fun team to watch. The offense is a blast. I mean, the quarterback play is phenomenal. The receivers are awesome too. They got a lot of fun things to watch. But praising this offense, only did put up 17, and in this game, Mizzou should have won it. I feel they had numerous missed opportunities that they needed to capitalize on and just failed to do so time and time again. Uh, Vandy definitely had a little bit of that going on too, but not nearly as much. And Missouri's definitely going to kick themselves for this one because it was right there for the taking.
It was right there for the taking, and that's with the big storyline you did mention. That's with Bo Perbola going down. I mean,
Yes,
I
yes,
think Vandy
huge.
was very fortunate that he went down because I don't think that Mizzou doesn't finish off some of those chances if he's in there the rest of this game.
I agree.
I think Mizzou would win this if Bo plays the entire game. So I don't hate that I dropped this one because I feel like Bo plays. Mizzou's pulling this one off. I wasn't overly impressed by what I saw out of Pavia and Vandy here, to be honest. But we'll see. Mizzou, very unfortunate. They were cooking, and I do think with this Bow injury, their season's about to take a turn for the worst.
Yeah, which is a shame because they were another really fun team to watch, and yeah, it just sucks. You hate to lose games because of injury like that. It just really chugs. And as you said, I agree. I hate to throw the kid under, but the replacement did not take advantage of these opportunities and did not get the job done. It's pretty safe to assume we're going to continue to see that as he is trying to fill that void.
Absolutely. He's gonna get more chances. We know that.
Yeah. But let's move on. We had 11 ranked BYU go up against Iowa State. This one was very difficult for me, even given BYU's phenomenal record and seeding. I just always kind of like Iowa State, and they've had some decent wins this year. And being at home, that tickled me fancy. But I did end up siding with BYU, and I'm glad I did. They take it 41-27, and they're just a legit team. They're really good. I think it's time I buy into BYU. I was very hesitant at first and a little hesitant throughout, but I mean, they're stacking up the evidence against me. I just got to flip.
I agree. I'm kind of the same mind. It's another one of those teams that I didn't even want to put in the top echelon of college football teams, but I do think that they're there. They're another team I would put alongside like the Texas A&Ms of the world. I think they're a true tier 2 team, which this is a compliment for them, by the way. I'm not trying to come at you and be like truly a
Yeah.
compliment. Like you're there. You are there. So I good for them. Good for them.
But let's move on to some more Big Ten. We had 23 ranked Illinois take on Washington. I went upset here and went with Washington, and it did pan out. Not at all in the way I thought, though. They took it 42-25, very convincing. I expected a close game here, but Washington's been impressive this year. They're pretty good. I think only 2 losses on the year, and kind of snapping out of their funk of last year. I think moving to the Big Ten certainly affected a handful of teams, and I think it really affected Washington and losing their coach to Alabama last year as well. But they seem to be kind of taking form again. Illinois, not so much. They showed a lot of questionable, or they've had a lot of questionable play over the last few weeks. So um, it's really not too much of a surprise that they drop it, but again, I was kind of surprised Washington handled them this easily.
Yeah, I mean, Illinois is a team that I expected to be a lot better than they have been these past few weeks. I think that Indiana loss where they just got absolutely crushed really took the wind out of their sails because ever since then they have just not been the same team that they were prior or even close to it, honestly. So unfortunate for them, but I do think that's just where we're at right now.
But let's go to Oklahoma State. Oh boy, taking on 14 ranked Texas Tech, 0-42. Oklahoma State is in a bad place this year. They just cannot get it done at all. I didn't expect a win here, but my goodness, 42 to nothing. Uh, Texas Tech, a team that been hot, red hot most of the year, had I think one game that they dropped, and yeah, I'm not ready to rule them out though. I think they could make some noise if they're a team that manages to squeak in to the playoff. You certainly don't want to overlook them.
No, 100%. I mean, we've talked about it in past weeks that we actually did a college episode, but Texas Tech's offense is really good. It is really, really good. They can put up a lot of points quick, and Oklahoma State isn't exactly a feared opponent, but anytime you hold a college team to 0, that's pretty impressive, especially for this Texas Tech team. I don't think I would have really expected that out of them, but damn, they went out and did it.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, they're so offensively focused. Like we know their offense is no joke, but to have that no joke offense and your defense performing at this level, even against an underwhelming Oklahoma State team, it's pretty special. So yeah, definitely a team to look out for there. But let's move on to Baylor taking on 21 ranked Cincinnati. We both went Cincinnati here. I almost went Baylor. I thought for sure you would, given your hype of Baylor this
I gave up
season.
on Baylor.
Yeah, you kind of I mean, now they're cooked. I think that was number 3. It might have been 4, honestly, but yeah, it's done for them. But Cincinnati, a team that's another team that has switched conference recently in the Big 12 now, and I think they're adapting well. I think we're seeing teams that switch conference like first year, maybe 2, not so great, but then they're kind of acclimated. You got the recruits rolling, you got all that good stuff. So I think they're settled in and. Yeah, I mean they're a ranked team in a conference that's fairly new to them, so I think that's pretty impressive. But yeah, there are some teams in the Big 12 that could cause them problems and kick them out of the hunt. But for now, they're a team to not mess around with.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, it was tempting to go Baylor. I'll tell you, it really, really was. I want to believe in them based on my take at the beginning of the year, but they just haven't been quite the same. And as you mentioned, Cincy playing really well, I just had to side with Cincy here. They're on a
Yeah.
roll. They're rolling right now.
They are. I must say I love that 9 weeks in we're finally discussing us letting go our preseason predictions. I just love shout out to us for being stubborn and just trusting our ball knowledge. Like I love that. But yeah, now 9 weeks in, maybe it's time we we just go with the facts.
And this college season's been weird, man. A
It
lot of
really has.
weirdness.
Yeah, it really has. Speaking of weird, I went for weird in this next one. We had 22 Texas take on Mississippi State. I went Mississippi State here. I actually almost went my way. They fall, but they fall in overtime, score of 45-38. Um, but yeah, Texas, it's less about Mississippi State. I know it's a weaker team in the SEC. It's a game Texas should win all the freaking time. But Texas I'm just so unconvinced, and I literally think they're like bordering on bad. Like that Oklahoma win is their entire season. Like if you took that away, like this team is literally shit. But that's an impressive win. So I mean, they deserve the credit there. But I guess what I'm trying to bring home is they looked good one time. And a large
That's
sample
fair.
size. So I will continue the attack. I mean, they're a ranked team. They won. They're going to be ranked. We're going to keep talking about them. I will continue the Texas attack. I just will.
That's fair. I respect that. I respect that. They're certainly not the team I thought that they were going to be. That's pretty clear.
Yeah.
What's
Well, I thought
crazy
they
is
had
they could
more help.
still get in, man. They could still get in.
They could, yeah. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I honestly thought they had more help. Like I feel like a lot of it is on your quarterback, and Arch hasn't been great, but SEC, I mean, we've seen some quarterbacks come through, the Bama quarterbacks, some of these Georgia quarterbacks, like they're nothing really, but the team is that good around them that they're special. And I thought we'd have some of that in Texas, and I really don't think it's there. Like they just don't have a good team. Yeah, it really is. But let's talk Stanford taking on 9 ranked Miami. Miami continuing to look good. They did drop that one game, but take this one 42-7. We both had this one. Not really too much to say here. I think this one was pretty expected.
Yeah, Carson Beck had a pretty solid game. Miami wins 42-7, and we'll get to it, but gets punished and drops down a spot to 10, by the way. So just thought that was funny. The one extra note I want to throw out here.
Yeah. But let's talk Boston College taking on 19 Louisville. Louisville takes it 38-24. Kind of surprised here. I didn't know Boston College had that much offensive juice, but clearly the defense be lacking.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I think I'm surprised by how well Louisville is playing. I really did not expect this
They
out of
just
them. Like they're a
it
little
you're right.
sneaky.
It yeah, a little sneak attack. But yeah, you're right. They do look really good this year, and it is a bit surprising. I mean, it's a team that it's not weird to see them ranked at all or anything like that, but to be at 19 and advancing and continuing to, truck along, that is a little bit surprising. So yeah, maybe they have another Lamar or something going on there.
I don't know if it's quite to that level.
Yeah,
Let's relax. But
probably
but
not.
but playing really well. We can't take any credit away from them right now.
Yeah, very true. Let's talk Michigan Clash. 25 ranked Michigan. Yes, they're ranked, and we have to talk about them again. They took on Michigan State, one where we both had Michigan, but both very badly wanted Michigan State. And Michigan State kind of put up a fight. I mean, they fall 31 to
They had
20 here.
such a chance. They had such a chance in this game. Bryce Underwood sucked. He was terrible. He continues to be terrible. They had every opportunity in the world. Michigan played so bad. You're at home in the Michigan rivalry. Do something. Gosh.
Yeah, it's a lot of underwhelming, like historically really good teams this year, and it's interesting. But yeah, you'd love to see Michigan State take advantage of that. A team that's kind of been in the shitter for a while, and this could have propelled them somewhere. But yeah, no dice. So we'll continue to talk Michigan football. Stay tuned.
So unfortunate.
Yeah, very. But let's get back into some SEC. We had 17 Tennessee take on Kentucky. A bit of a shocker here. Kentucky put up quite a fight. I mean, they gave up 56, which unacceptable no matter what, pretty much. But they put up 34 against this Vols defense. Something you have mentioned throughout this season, a handful of weeks, is Tennessee's defense just kind of, I don't know if it's playing down to the opponent or what, but just a few shockers this year with the amount of points they've been giving up. A team that's usually in the very top end. I mean, we're talking college football, so there's 5 billion teams, but a team that's typically very close to the top as far as defensive production. But yeah, they win it and they're sleeping fine, but they did give up 34 to this Kentucky squad, which kind of is striking me as scrappy this year. I haven't seen too much of their gameplay, but they're kind of like fucking around and actually being competitive in some games.
Yeah, no, it's been impressive, but yeah, I mean, you said it. What I was really gonna say here is just another game that's concerning for Tennessee. Like they get the win. That's great. That's what you need, but you can't be that happy with this performance because it's not a one-off. It's a true pattern at this point. And in the SEC, that simply is not going to cut it.
That's very true. But let's move on to the last game of the week here. We had Houston take on 24 ranked Arizona State. We both went with the ranked home team in this one, and it bit us in the ace because Houston took it 24-16. Granted, Houston not a joke this year. I believe only one loss to their name, and probably should have been flirting with being ranked for this matchup. But yeah, they weren't, and they're the away team against a no joke team in Arizona State. Has had some good wins this year, but yeah, Houston takes this one.
Yeah, Houston played really well on the road, and you mentioned they should have been ranked coming into this one. Well, they're ranked now, and Arizona State isn't. So
Yeah,
went in there, got the job done, moved into the top 25.
yeah, went in there, threw out the Uno reverse card, and it was done, just like that. But yeah, that's week 9, ladies and gentlemen. We had 3 different. I took 2 out of 3 this week, putting me up 3 for the year. Is that right? Is that math?
Correct, correct.
Yeah.
I went 15-4, you went 16-3. I'm up to 132-40, you're 135-37. We really should be betting money on these, especially at this point in the year. We're still keeping up that level of success. These games aren't minus 1,000 in the books anymore. So,
Yeah,
pretty solid here for college. It's a
that's
pretty good
true.
success rate.
I will dig it. Let's keep it going and let's see let's see our week 10 picks and hopefully next week we're talking about how damn good we are again.
I know. It's almost like, yeah, well, selfishly, you could drop a few games. Just gonna say, but
I plan on it. I definitely struggle with college. There's just so many outliers and weird shit that happens. You definitely got to be a little ballsy with your picks, and I think we are, and I think that's why it's working for us. Definitely got to show your stonage when it comes to college picks. Let's get into the first one. 25 ranked Memphis. Yes, they are ranked. Um, they're taking on Rice, and I'm going to put my stonage away because I'm going Memphis.
also packing the stones up. They're hiding
Yeah,
away for right now.
yeah. Put them on the
I'm going
shelf.
Memphis here too. Yep.
Very
Save them
nice.
for later.
Next, we have five-ranked Georgia taking on Florida. This one is could be dicey. Again, I didn't have the stonage, so I went Georgia. But Florida, I'm telling you, they're not that bad. The schedule is just so unfriendly, and them at home is also a big factor here too. And Georgia known to be amazing, but also known to have oopsie every once in a while. But already did suffer a loss, so I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, you said it, they do suffer oopsies sometimes. I think my thinking here was, because I was along the same lines of Florida's not that terrible, they already have their oopsie. I don't know that they're gonna have a second oopsie against this team. They might lose a tight, tight game to another really, really good team, but I don't think they have another oopsie, which I would consider this. I got Georgia here as well.
Yeah. Well put. Yeah, a team that can oopsie, but they very rarely double oopsie. Let's let's move on to the second best school in that state, Georgia Tech, ranked eighth. They got NC State. Georgia Tech here for me. I'm riding the wave. I like Georgia Tech a lot, so I hope they can hold on to this thing, but I just can't help but feel a crumble's gonna happen. And I really hope it's Georgia who gives them the L because I really think they should probably beat everyone else, but I just have a feeling an oopsie's coming, but hopefully not this week.
Yeah, I went Georgia Tech here as well. I'm not really big on NC State football. Don't think there's much that could impress me there, that has impressed me so far there, and Georgia Tech has done all the impressing possible so far this year. So I don't think, as of right now, I think they're going to lose this game. So I got Georgia Tech.
Next, we have your boys, Penn State, taking on number one ranked Ohio State. A game we were so very, very much so looking forward to a few weeks ago. Now is kind of tainted, and I mean, I'm speaking for you, and you're the Penn State fan, but yeah, I'm not looking forward to this one at all. I think it's gonna get gross in a hurry, and it's gonna be done.
You know, I think you're wrong. The funny thing is, uh, to be clear, I picked Ohio State. All right, so I'll say that. Picking Ohio State to win this game. But I don't think that this game is going to play out any different than if we still had a full throttle squad coming to Columbus, Ohio on November 1st. I think it's going to play out exactly the same because that's essentially how all Penn State Ohio State games have played out for the past
No matter what.
10 years, regardless of the talent difference between the two. And that's Penn State comes out looking kind of decent, maybe even has a lead for a little while. But then you get to the second half, and especially the fourth quarter, and Ohio State will pull out ahead. Not by a lot. I really don't think this is going to be a blowout. I really, really don't. Um, but I think Ohio State will win this game, but I think it's going to be really close, and I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. It's sure as shit is not going to surprise me, but I really don't expect a blowout here at all. And to be honest, I would not be the least bit surprised if this is just it would be like the funniest thing ever if this is a game that, after losing four straight in the Big Ten, Penn State goes out and wins. How hilarious would that be? I don't even know how I would feel about that. Because that's like, of course, the one fucking time it doesn't matter if we beat Ohio State, we go out and beat Ohio State. Like, I
Yeah.
almost don't want it to happen for that reason, but my hatred for Ohio State is so much that I do absolutely still want it to happen. But I'll
Oh,
tell you, I will be annoyed if they do go out and win. Like,
yeah.
geez,
Well,
my goodness.
and to your point, it's because it doesn't affect anything. Like Ohio State will still be in the Big Ten championship game. Will still probably likely win it. Will still make the playoffs, and it doesn't do anything for Penn State on the flip side. So yeah, I could totally see why that would be annoying. Um, But your take is giving me hope and hope that this game is an enjoyable watch and kind of a classic, duel between these two teams. Even though they almost never like the outcome, they for the most part are always entertaining games. So I hope you're right. But yeah, I feel like at this point Penn State is completely demoralized and they're just ready to crumble and think about next year.
Ready to did you just say ready to crumble, brother?
Whatever.
They have
Ready
crumbled.
ready to complete collapse. But I
Alright,
mean, you
that's
could
fair.
argue they did that too. But
I mean, they've lost 4 in a row. 4 conference games in a row. That loss against Iowa 2 weeks ago, brutal, brutal. I'm so glad that Franklin is no longer the head coach. I've mentioned before, I appreciate everything that he did for the program. He was very important for us being where we are at right now. We could be in a much worse spot if he did not come here when he did. So I appreciate that, but he was no longer the guy for the team. What I don't love is that we decided we weren't making any other changes and keeping the coordinators around because Andy Kotelnicki needs to leave State College so damn fast. That boy needs out so fast. He's one of the worst offensive coordinators I've ever had to go through at Penn State. And there have been quite a few because Penn State's offense never really is, all that, if we're being honest here. But Kotelnicki, my goodness, my goodness. But 4 in a row is ridiculous. Sorry, I had to do a little mini rant about Penn State there. It's just going to happen when we
all
start
good.
talking about them. You know how it
Yeah,
be, but, you
very
know,
fair. And I love hearing them, honestly.
yeah,
Love
fuck
a
the
good tangent.
Buckeyes. Let's go give
Yeah,
them their first loss of the year.
that would be dope. But let's move on to 9 ranked Vanderbilt taking on 20 ranked Texas. I alluded to it earlier, but yeah, I'm not picking Texas. If it's SEC play, like I'm not gonna pick Texas like pretty much the rest of the way. I'm just so not convinced. And here Vanderbilt, a game we mentioned last week against Mizzou, did not look great. Probably should have lost it. I think they bounce back here and have a better showing. Um, Texas, we'll see. You don't scare me at all.
Yeah, no, I agree. I also went Vanderbilt here. I mean, they're looking like the much better team. They are ranked higher. But Texas is a team that I wouldn't pick them here, but they're a team that could go out and probably win any game if they put it all together.
That's what's so
So,
messed up. Because I think
yeah,
you're right for thinking that, but I feel like it can't be true because of how bad they've been playing. Like,
I just don't
but
think
you're
they're anywhere
right.
close to put it together.
But it's there. I mean, the pieces are there. They're backwards and yeah, turned the wrong way,
Upside
however you want
down.
to put
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, not good. But hopefully I didn't just jinx Vandy because like I said, I'm really riding that Vandy train now. I'm sipping Vandy juice. Um, but let's move on to 10 ranked Miami
It's
taking
that
on
V juice.
SMU. Yeah, the V juice, cult classic. Um, yeah, 10 ranked Miami taking on SMU. SMU, a team that's been like not really talked about much. This year, I believe they started ranked, kind of high up though, like on their way out, and dropped one, and we haven't really talked about them much since. But a team that I could see putting up a real fight against Miami, potential upset here. But I once again did not have Stonage, therefore I went Miami.
Yeah, I also am in Miami, but yeah, I mean, you make some great points. I mean, SMU was in the college football playoff just last year. So they're no joke. And so they definitely could do something here, but honestly, I don't think this will be much of a problem for Miami.
But let's talk West Virginia taking on 22 ranked Houston. It's pretty evident to me that West Virginia, a renowned party school, worried about partying this year more so than football. They look pretty rough, and Houston, a team on the up and up. Well, honestly, been good all year, but really finally just getting recognition now. I think they're going to continue their hot streak and take care of business at home.
Yeah, I agree. No counterpoints. West Virginia's got, you know, parties and crackheads on the corners and country roads take me home, but that's
No,
it. That's all
please.
they got.
It's so
Yeah.
loud. Uh, Stick to sports, buddy. 16 Louisville taking on Virginia Tech. I'm going Louisville here. like we said, I mean, they're looking good. Virginia Tech, a team that has shown glimpses of being good, but nothing really consistent. So I'm not gonna go with them.
Yeah, that's so I'm still laughing at the stick to sports. I mean, you're so right. Trust me, I'm not about to try to break into a singing career here. If there's one thing I'm self-aware of is that I cannot sing. So, um, but Louisville, Virginia Tech, I don't disagree. But I got Louisville here. Talking about Virginia Tech though, so we won't have probably many opportunities to talk about them. They probably won't ever break into the top 25.
Yeah,
James
not
Franklin,
likely.
heavily rumored that this is his next
Oh,
destination right now.
that was
Heavily
quick.
rumored. Yeah, that was
I don't know
quick.
what I expected. I thought he might take the rest of the year, like, and just think things over, which I mean, they probably will. I don't know if there's literally a vacancy. Like, I mean, there's no way he's coaching this
No,
year, but you know what I
no,
mean? I didn't think there would be discussion this soon on his future. I mean, I just don't get it. I think it's just because if I was coaching, I would probably be different. Don't get me wrong, I'm definitely a competitor, but when you're throwing that many millions of dollars my way and I just had embarrassment after embarrassment at Penn State, I would probably, vacation the rest of my life, I think.
stick to the shadows, something like that,
Yeah,
right?
for real. It's time to go back to the hometown.
That's fair. That's fair.
Let's talk about a team we mentioned earlier. Pretty damn hot, no joke. Two ranked Indiana taking on Maryland. Maryland, kind of a lesser Big Ten team, but not terrible either. But I don't see them causing a stumble here from Indiana. They got a lot of momentum going.
Yep, I do not think that this is a game where Indiana struggles. It is Maryland's homecoming, so there's that. Maybe that adds a little bit of a factor. Probably not. Stands are probably still going to be empty. But yeah, I got Indiana all day here.
Yeah, I think people are going to be at home coming instead of at this game. But
They
let's
certainly won't be watching the game, so they need something else to do.
yes. uh let's talk 12 ranked Notre Dame. Yes, they are ranked 12 now all of a sudden. They're back and they're looking good unfortunately, but they're taking on Boston State. I got them winning this one. Boston College. My apologies.
That's
Sometimes
fine. I
my
just
my
wanted to be
S
an asshole.
sometimes my STAT looks like COLLEGE. I mean, it's just I I don't know how it happens, but
That's total.
I,
No, it's fair. I just wanted to take the opportunity to be a dick.
of
Had
course.
to
I
had to pounce on it.
Yeah. You sure about
Hey,
that?
pause. Yeah. Anyways, let's make my pick here. Notre Dame. I don't love that I did that. I really want Boston College to win. I will be rooting for them, but I think Notre Dame will win.
Yeah. Go Boston State. Uh 13 ranked Texas Tech taking on Kansas State. Kansas State, a team that was kind of thought of to be a decent school before this season really got underway, but haven't really been a threat. And as we mentioned, Texas Tech's offense is just stupid nice. And if their defense is playing like they did last week, I mean, they beat most teams. And I certainly think they'd beat Kansas State. So I'm going with them.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. Main thing here is before I even make my pick is how is Notre Dame ranked ahead of Texas Tech right now? Seriously.
For real. That's gross.
The fuck are we doing? That's true Homer shit. Um, whatever. Whatever. I got Texas Tech here though as well. Too much offensive firepower for this Kansas State team.
Yeah. I can't quite glaze over the Notre Dame thing you just brought to light because it pisses me off too. You can't give them favorable seating and allow them to avoid a conference championship game. Like, you can't have it both ways. That's just ridiculous. But hopefully
Especially
they
because like,
they fall eventually, but I mean, I know I looked at their schedule. I don't remember it unfortunately, but I feel like they're probably okay the rest of the way, which that sucks and pains
oh,
me.
they should definitely be okay the rest of the way, but here's the deal, how are they 12 right now? They're a team already with 2 losses. If they do lose one of these games, they're gonna be out of the playoffs entirely. Oh, like, that's a really big movement in the rankings that doesn't actually make any sense because they'd probably need to drop out or back into, like,
That's
20 to
true. I
25
mean,
range.
if
Like, they should be, like, 18 to 20 right now fighting, having to win the last 5 to get into the playoffs, not
you're right.
in a playoff
You're
spot
right.
right now. It's ridiculous. It's
You're
ridiculous.
right. I think they need to look at it more that way when they're ranking. Like it's time playoffs are near. It's time to seed them based on if it ended today, like who's in is kind of what I want. But yeah, that's certainly not being reflected here. If the season ended today and Notre Dame got in, I would be freaking livid.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. I mean, come on. What are we doing here? What are we doing?
Yeah. All right, but that's too much spotlight for Notre Dame. Let's move on. 15 ranked Virginia taking on Cal. Uh, Cal's not bad this year, but Virginia, I think they hopefully learned a thing or two from their almost stumble last week to North Carolina, and I think they bounce back and take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, you took the words right out of my mouth. I think their scare last week, they're gonna really want to come out strong here and put this one away early. So this is one I think might get ugly. It might end a little closer, but I do think that Virginia is gonna jump out to a pretty big early lead.
It would be the appropriate response to last week, that's for sure. But let's talk the pesky South Carolina Gamecocks taking on seven-ranked Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss survives it, but I mean, you just truly never know. And to your point, as we said in recap of Week 9, I mean, you never know with South Carolina just because of quarterback play, man. I mean, it's that freaking good that anything can happen. But Ole Miss, I think they'll hold on here.
Yeah, I agree with you. I also went Ole Miss here. If Ole Miss was away to South Carolina, this is one I would have had to really, really think about. But Ole
Yeah,
Miss being at home was a factor here for me, especially in college with these stadium sizes. Man, home teams have a definitive advantage in college. I will admit to that. So I got Ole Miss here.
yeah. And as we say, they're just kids out there. How do they deal with the pressures? Um, but yeah, South Carolina, much like Florida, I keep saying it for Florida, the schedule, the schedule, the schedule. South Carolina, another team that is pretty freaking good. It's just a really rough schedule that they got this year. But let's move on. We got Purdue taking on 21 ranked Michigan. I got Michigan. They're going to survive and be ranked next week. Yay. Next, we got 18 ranked Oklahoma taking on 14 Tennessee. This one might be the toughest of the week, honestly. A lot of the ones we've already gone through pretty cut and dry. This one definitely came with this one for sure. I mean, Tennessee, a team that constantly gives up more points than they should, scares me with a team like Oklahoma. I mean, you said it, they're trying to get back from injury, trying to get this thing going again. They build up a lot of momentum. They have an opportunity to do that against this Tennessee defense that's proven to be vulnerable. I did end up siding with the Vols to hold on here, but I do not feel good about this one.
First difference of the week, I believe, because I did go
Yeah, that's first.
Oklahoma here. I just
I'm glad
don't
you did, honestly.
love Tennessee's defense. I really don't. And I think at some point, with more time back, Oklahoma will get closer to what they were at the start of the year. And 3 weeks is probably enough time to start seeing some points of that. Their game against Ole Miss last week was close. Certainly didn't get blown out by any means. Looked a little bit better, so I think they improve yet again. In this game against Tennessee, who I don't think is quite as good as Ole Miss, so I got Oklahoma here.
Yeah, good point. I agree. I don't think they're as good as Ole Miss. So even if Oklahoma can almost just replicate what they did last week, they probably looking pretty good here. Glad it's a split, honestly, even though I don't feel great about the game. It was just a really toughie, and it's a good one to have different sides on. Definitely going to be a good watch for us. Let's move on. We got 23 ranked USC taking on Nebraska. Another one I struggle with. USC's impressed me a lot this year. Nebraska had some moments, but overall, I would say kind of a letdown. I thought they were going to be better than how it's shaking out. But that being said, I did still go with Nebraska. I think they get away with an upset here.
Yeah. So this is our second difference, but this one was really, really difficult for me. I think this was the most difficult pick of the week. Because I agree, I think Nebraska's been underwhelming compared to what I thought that they should be or could be. We're ranked at 1 point, aren't anymore, but probably on the fringe. They go and get this win, they might sneak back into the high 20s possibly. But it really comes back down to what another thing you said, that USC has honestly really impressed me so far this year. I did not expect this out of them. They've looked really, really good. Their offense is really cooking. So I got USC here in a close one.
Yeah. Yeah, another good pick there. Yeah, like I said earlier, these new Big 10 schools, these new Big 12 schools, these new SEC schools, really think they're kind of getting their footing as the years go on. And yeah, USC year 2 in the Big 10, they certainly look a lot better. And honestly, this team had moments last year too. But yeah, definitely looking good. Total toss-up game though. No clue what's going to happen. And it's much the same in this next one, which is our last one of the week. 17 ranked Cincinnati taking on 24 ranked Utah. I had no clue. I mean, I stared at this for 5 minutes and eventually circled Utah because I like Utah. And I don't have anything valuable to back up my pick here other than I like Utah. But I will say I think Cincinnati has looked more impressive. Again, I go back to that what was it, Utah Texas Tech game where I had Utah, you had Texas Tech, and boy was it Texas Tech. They they just looked so good and Utah looked so bad. So I was very tempted to pick Cincinnati here, but I ended up siding with Utah and another one I don't feel great about.
Yeah, I am glad that you went Utah, because I also went Utah. And when I would
Good.
have felt very not good about this one if you did have Cincinnati, because this was probably the second most difficult one for me to pick this week.
Yeah.
I just there's always a quality team in Utah, and if you're able to whisk away that Texas Tech game for just a moment, you can see the light at the end of the tunnel here. And that's what I did when I made this pick. I was like, I can still see it with you, Utah. Like, you're not utter garbage, even though you looked really, really bad. But
Yeah,
like,
they
I
did.
believe in you for this game. And they're at home. They are at home. So
My
there's
man.
that.
Yep,
That's what I'm saying.
there is that. But yeah, I love it. I'm very relieved that you went that way. But yeah, there we have it. Two different for us in this episode. You taking Oklahoma, me taking Tennessee, you taking USC, me taking Nebraska. But yeah, plenty of good games to watch this week, and yeah, we're super excited.
Yeah. That wraps up another episode of Palm City Chucks, everybody. As always, we appreciate and love you for listening in and following along. Please like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think, and we'll be back with you next week.
Later, PCC!